It's the night of December 10th, 2021, and a tornado warning sends out a chilling message. A large and dangerous tornado is heading directly towards the town of Mayfield, Kentucky. And in town, there's a factory with over 100 workers. Some flee the building, fearing for their lives, but most stay because management threatens to fire anyone who leaves. For those that stay, all they can do is hope that the tornado misses them. The story of this monster began a few days prior when forecasters at the Storm Prediction Center were seeing a dangerous pattern coming together. A massive, positively tilted jet is going to sweep over a large portion of the US. The jet would also create a powerful low-pressure system that would draw in warm, moist air from the Gulf, overspreading most of the Mississippi River Valley with unstable air in excess of 70 degrees. Conditions like these are much more common in spring, the time of year the US sees the most tornadoes, not early December. But the atmosphere doesn't care what month it is. If the pieces are in place, a tornado outbreak can happen. To make matters worse, the storms would be at night, so the tornadoes would be essentially invisible. In response, meteorologists upgrade the forecast to a level 4 out of 5 moderate, specifically for the chance of strong tornadoes. Even though this is a nearly perfect forecast, nobody, not even the meteorologists, have any idea what's about to unfold. Right before sunset, the system finally arrives, sparking a cluster of storms in central Arkansas. As the storms race across Arkansas, they merge into a single powerful storm. And at 6 p.m., the National Weather Service issues the first tornado warning of the night. Minutes later, the supercell puts down its first tornado. However, this first tornado is weak and short-lived. As the storm approaches Jonesboro, it puts down even more tornadoes. And at one point, there are 2 tornadoes on the ground at the same time. A local captures this wild moment, but the storm was about to produce something much more sinister. Storm chaser Christopher Robert captures the formation of a much larger tornado as it crosses east of Jonesboro, Arkansas, narrowly missing the small town of Lake City. Immediately after touching down, the tornado grows into a beast, swelling to nearly a mile wide. And after being on the ground for 13 miles, the tornado is heading right for the town of Monette, Arkansas. The violent tornado swipes the north side of town, directly impacting the Monette Manor nursing home. The entire roof of the nursing home collapses, injuring many residents and sadly killing 94-year-old Golden Hembry. The tornado continues to track northeast and is now heading towards the town of Leechville. The monster misses the heart of town. However, it directly impacts the Dollar General on the north side of town where employees are taking shelter. Some survive by hiding in the bathroom, but tragically, the store's manager, June Pennington, is killed while shielding a younger employee. The storm races onwards at 55 miles per hour, crossing into Missouri. This area is the Mississippi River Delta, which mostly consists of open farm fields. However, the few trees that are hit are reduced to splinters. In the same area, the tornado collapses a transmission tower, showing just how strong this monster had become. Before I continue with the tornado, I'd like to briefly tell you about the sponsor of this video, ZocDoc. You probably never knew this about me, but I take my health very seriously. I go to the gym almost every single day, and I eat extremely clean. But as someone who knows a lot about health, trust me, there's a lot more to it than going to the gym, Going to the doctor is just as important, and that's where ZocDoc comes in. ZocDoc is a free website that lets you book high-quality, in-network doctors for all of your health needs, and you can view thousands of verified reviews to make sure you're getting the best doctor possible. But my favorite part is that you can see each doctor's availability and book an appointment without having to talk to a single person. They've really perfected the process. If your New Year's resolution is to take care of your health, go to ZocDoc.com/highriskchris and book your appointment today. But if you do, make sure to use my link in the description or the QR code on screen. Alright, back to the video. As the tornado moves through the boot heel of Missouri, storm chaser Max Olson carefully positions in front of the tornado, recording the horizon to capture the beast as it closes in on his location. And with a flash of lightning, the monster reveals itself.
A big tornado. It's coming right here.
To my main camera where it's more visible. Man.
A power flash can be seen in his footage. This marks the exact moment the tornado hits power lines along State Highway J, directly impacting the home where the Rackley family is taking cover. Sadly, 9-year-old Aniston Rackley is killed. This tragic loss is compounded by the fact the Rackleys had moved into the house less than a week before. The tornado keeps going, now crossing Interstate 55 as Max carefully positions just south of the tornado.
There it goes, right in front of me.
Just ahead on the highway, George Martin is killed when the tornado strikes his semi-truck.
Alright, hopefully there's nobody on the highway right here. We're about to be in the damaged path.
The tornado crosses another major road, Highway 84. Here, Mark Travis is killed when a utility pole is brought down right in front of his car, resulting in a fatal accident. Around this time, Max pulls out his camera and captures the monster, illuminated by the industrial lights. The tornado then approaches the Mississippi River, where a barge is right in the path of the monster. A crew member on board records the beast from the boat.
All that smoky stuff is whipping off in that direction. So it's sucking up the air. See, it's right there on the other side of the river.
Immediately after passing the boat, the tornado briefly makes landfall in Tennessee, officially becoming a tri-state tornado. The tornado then crosses back into Missouri before crossing the Mississippi River for a third time. The unrelenting tornado had now been on the ground for more than an hour, but it's still not finished as it closes in on Reelfoot Lake, a popular hunting destination in the area. Here, Blue Ridge Hunting Resort is struck by the tornado. Many members survive by riding out the storm in the clubhouse. However, Jamie Hall and Steve and Grayson Gunn are sleeping on the second floor when the tornado hits. Sadly, all three are killed. After striking the resort, the tornado sweeps across the lake before making landfall in the town of Samberg, where more homes and the town's fire department is destroyed, and resident Danny Inman Sr. is killed. As the tornado exits town, its intensity starts to wane. After tracking 80 miles and claiming the lives of 8 people, the seemingly unstoppable tornado finally comes to an end. However, the supercell was still going, and it was about to do something even more catastrophic. The storm's mesocyclone, or the powerful engine driving these tornadoes, briefly becomes unstable, producing several weak, short-lived tornadoes. But soon, the delicate balance of the mezzo is re-established, and at 8:54, one of the most infamous tornadoes in American history touches down. Passing just north of Woodland Mills, Tennessee, the tornado moves at a blistering 55 miles per hour, crossing into Kentucky. Almost immediately after touching down, the tornado exhibits extreme feats of power, leaving a scar on the ground wherever the central core touches. It's only a few minutes before the tornado approaches the small town of Casey, Kentucky. And not only is the tornado extremely strong, it has grown to 3/4 of a mile wide, which is wider than the town itself. When the tornado hits, all buildings on the east side of town are leveled, and Wade Lyle loses his life as he shelters in a mobile home with his girlfriend. Wade is the first victim of this tornado, but he would certainly not be the last. The beast continues its path of destruction as it passes west of the community of Crutchfield, Kentucky, collapsing a cell phone tower. This feat of strength is soon outdone as the tornado barrels towards US 51. Here, the core of the tornado suddenly undergoes further strengthening, digging deep trenches in the ground. The tornado maintains its tight but powerful core as it speeds through the Kentucky countryside, impacting a few farmsteads. One of the unlucky farms is lived in by the Gingerich family, a local Amish family. With no electronics, they have no way to receive a tornado warning. Sadly, both parents, Emma and Jacob, are killed alongside 2 of their 5 children, Daniel and Marilyn. The tornado would not remain in rural areas for much longer, since it's quickly approaching the town of Mayfield, Kentucky, and it's showing no signs of weakening. The National Weather Service issues a chilling warning, stating a confirmed large and dangerous tornado is moving northeast at 55 miles per hour, and it will be near Mayfield around 9:30. Workers at the local candle factory hear the sirens and receive this terrifying warning. Some flee the factory, however, most workers stay since they are told they would be fired if they left. At the same time, storm chaser Dylan Phillips records from a highway southeast of Mayfield. This is the only image of the tornado before it hits Mayfield. The monster strengthens even more right as it enters the outskirts of Mayfield, completely sweeping homes off of their foundations. Kathy Green is the first victim in town, and just down the road, Derek and Pamela Gilbert and Jamie Wagoneer are all killed in the same home. Around the corner, Robert Baldry is thrown from his home and does not survive. And 2 doors down, Jessica Cook, who is 6 months pregnant at the time, is tragically killed alongside her unborn child. And Bobby Spaulding is killed while trying to escape. The tornado is now seconds away from the candle factory. When the tornado hits, the walls and roof of the building are shredded apart, and massive industrial machinery collapses onto the workers below. Over 100 people are trapped underneath the industrial machinery and sheet metal, with some suffering chemical burns from all the toxic material they're exposed to. A worker live streams from the rubble in a desperate attempt to call for help.
Please, y'all, get us some help. We're at the candle factory in Mayfield. Please, please. Y'all, please send us some help. Somebody please send us some help. We are trapped.
Of the over 100 workers trapped at the factory, 9 are killed. Some of the victims' bodies take more than 2 days to recover due to the amount of debris covering them. After ravaging the candle factory, the tornado enters the heart of town, overtaking more homes, killing Ollie Reeves. The monster then moves into the downtown area, striking many large, multi-story buildings, causing them to buckle. Rosa Sanders is killed when the top floor of her apartment building collapses, and a block to the north, a large brick church is reduced to a pile of rubble. Security cameras in town record the deadly blizzard of debris whizzing through the air. Just to the northeast of downtown are even more homes. In one of these homes, buzzing can be heard as the extreme low pressure of the tornado causes air to escape through the cracks in the house. Another house is directly in the tornado's path and collapses on a family. Sadly, 3-year-old Jalil is fatally injured. 25 miles to the north in Paducah, Kentucky, radar is scanning the tornado, capturing one of the most incredible radar images in history. This ball on radar is the tornado, or the radar beam reflecting off of all the debris flying through the air. And sticking out of the debris ball is what's called a radar spike. The artifact is being caused by pieces of buildings flying through the air. The same radar scan can be used to develop a 3D model of the tornado and parent supercell. And incredibly, debris is lofted up to 30,000 feet, which is the same altitude commercial jets cruise. After leaving Mayfield, the tornado continues to grow in size, reaching its peak width of 1.13 miles, where it engulfs several small neighborhoods, demolishing many homes. The tornado narrowly misses the center of Benton, but it's not long until the next major community is in its path. As the tornado begins to slightly contract in size, it concentrates its power at the central core, increasing the force of winds right as it enters the community of Cambridge Shores. Even these large structures are no match for the power of the tornado. Dozens of homes are completely splintered to the ground, with the debris being hurled into the lake, along with several vehicles parked nearby. And tragically, the tornado claims another victim when Cornelia Gaither loses her life here. The tornado crosses Kentucky Lake into the land between the lakes. Although this area is sparsely populated, thousands of trees along an 8-mile section of forest are violently shredded apart, leaving a scar that is still visible to this day. As the tornado begins to leave the land between the lakes, a man records the monster crossing over Lake Barkley. Its presence can be easily felt through the roar.
Oh, it's a bad boy. That's it right there. Damn.
After crossing Lake Barkley, the monster strikes several more small communities, reducing homes to their foundations, claiming another life, Evelyn Rattay. It's not long until the town of Princeton is under threat. Based on the tornado's current trajectory, it seems as though the tornado will miss Princeton to the south. However, this trajectory puts the subdivision surrounding the Princeton Country Club in the direct path. Here, several large, well-built homes are leveled to the ground, with one being impacted with such violence, part of the foundation appears to be torn from the ground. By some miracle, nobody dies near the country club. However, the tornado is threatening another local, Janae Crone, who's desperately trying to escape the tornado in her truck.
Oh, yeah. There is no turning around.
The tornado races across the field towards her, leaving behind a trail of cycloidal marks on the ground, showcasing the more intense subvortices that are orbiting around the tornado. One of these subvortices on the southern edge of the tornado strikes her truck, lifting it into the air before slamming it back into the ground. By a miracle, Janae survives without any injuries. After passing to the south of Princeton, the tornado races alongside Highway 62. Tragically, 4 more are killed along this road. Even though the tornado had already been on the ground for 80 miles, some of the darkest moments have yet to happen as the tornado now enters the town of Dawson Springs. When Dawson Springs local John Martin receives the warning that a tornado is approaching, he runs to shelter in the bathroom with his family. A camera inside captures John and his family close the door behind them as the tornado's roar grows louder when suddenly the tornado arrives. John and his family all survive without any injuries. Meanwhile, on the east side of town, another family takes cover in their bathroom, doing exactly what John and his family did. Their house is instantly shredded when the tornado hits, and the entire family is thrown by the winds. They all go to the hospital to get treated for their injuries, but sadly, newborn Oakland would not make a full recovery. The powerful tornado plows right through town, leaving a visible path of destruction through the heart of Dawson Springs, sadly killing 15. It's hard to imagine a tornado becoming any worse, but the tornado grows even larger and stronger, derailing and throwing several train cars uphill as it closes in on the town of Bremen, Kentucky. Local Eddie Knight hears the tornado approaching and goes outside on his front porch to record the monster as it creeps closer. These are by far the clearest and most iconic images of this tornado. While Eddie Knight records, the tornado is moments away from striking a home where the Vincent family is in their underground tornado shelter. As the family waits, the unimaginable power of the tornado's core passes directly over them, tearing the home apart so violently it rips parts of the concrete foundation, granulating them into tiny, unrecognizable fragments. Despite the incredible power of the storm, the shelter does not budge, saving the family. When the Vincents climb outside, there is nothing left of their home or surroundings, only a few trees nearby. Timothy Vincent had recently built the house alongside the shelter. In the very rare chance a tornado ever struck, he could have never realized that single decision to build an underground storm shelter saved his family. Damage west of Bremen is among the most extreme tornado damage in recent years. Nearby fields are scoured, and many other homes in the area are shredded to pieces. However, unlike the Vincent family, most homes don't have underground tornado shelters. 8 people in Bremen, including an infant, are killed. By this point, the tornado had been on the ground for 130 miles in almost 2.5 hours, but it was still going, continuing to the northeast, killing 3 more. After being on the ground for 165 miles, over 3 hours, and killing 57, the seemingly unstoppable tornado finally comes to an end. In the following days, meteorologists and engineers survey a large portion of the tornado's path to thoroughly document this historic tornado. The countless buildings destroyed along the 165-mile path make this one of the most labor-intensive tornado surveys in recent years. However, the most extreme damage occurred at the Vincent home in Bremen. The home was torn from the foundation and shredded into tiny pieces. Timothy would share his photos on Facebook and talk with Justin Gibbs, a meteorologist for the National Weather Service office in Paducah. Justin acknowledged the severity of damage, stating it was at least EF3 and that specialists would need to take a closer look, clearly indicating that this may have been worthy of the extremely rare EF5 rating. However, it was ultimately determined that the damage at Tim Vincent's home was 190 miles per hour due to the standing trees in the vicinity of the home, classifying the tornado as an EF4, just 10 miles per hour short of the extremely rare EF5 rating. This rating was controversial at the time and still is to this day, and Tim was not exactly happy with the NWS's assessment. Tornado damage really does not get any worse than what happened in Bremen, so to many, myself included, this tornado should absolutely be at the top of any tornado rating scale. And to think extraordinarily rare EF5 caliber damage is still not enough for FEMA assistance. Thankfully, the Vincents seem to have recovered and have since rebuilt their home. It's important to remember that the EF5 controversy will never matter more than the 57 innocent lives that were lost that night, especially the 9 deaths that occurred at the candle factory, which were completely preventable. In the years following, multiple lawsuits were filed against Mayfield Consumer Products, but the results of these lawsuits were never made public. As for the rest of Mayfield, Casey, Cambridge Shores, Princeton, Dawson Springs, Bremen, and all 165 miles in between, recovery has taken place. However, the empty lots and debarked trees will always be a dark reminder of what happened on the night of December 10th, 2021.